The story began with the introduction of the Banana Splits, a popular children's TV show featuring 4 animatronic animals: Fleegle the beagle, Bingo the orangutan, Drooper the lion, and Snorky the elephant. The live-action co-star Stevie was also an essential part of the show. Meanwhile, a little boy named Harley, who was a huge fan of the Banana Splits, put on a Snorky costume and quietly sneaked into the living room. There, he scared his mother Beth, who was sleeping on the couch. Beth jumped up screaming, thinking a wild beast had broken into the house. She scolded Harley for staying up so late, but Harley was too excited because it was his birthday. Finally, she told him to wait a few more hours and tucked him back into bed. After that, Beth walked straight into her older son Austin's room and questioned why he came home so late. She worried he might be hanging out with the wrong crowd, but Austin insisted he was already 19 and she shouldn't worry about him anymore. He also begged Beth not to tell his stepfather Mitch. Beth agreed, but only if Austin promised to be more careful in the future. The next morning, while the family was busy preparing for the birthday, Austin sneaked into Mitch's room to steal some money. Unfortunately, Mitch caught him red-handed, making the situation very awkward. Later, the whole family gathered to celebrate Harley's birthday and gave him gifts. Austin gave his brother a toy wand that could extend with a button, while Beth and Mitch surprised him with tickets to see the Banana Splits live. Harley was thrilled with the presents, and soon the family headed out to the studio. On the way, they picked up Harley's classmate Zoe. In the next scene, the family arrived at the Taft studio, where they met the host Paige and other excited fans. Paige announced that no phones were allowed inside, but an influencer couple, Thad and Poppy, secretly smuggled one in. A while later, when the Banana Splits finally appeared in their little car, Harley ran forward in excitement. Luckily, Snorky hit the brakes in time and avoided an accident. Outside, the atmosphere was cheerful and festive, but inside the studio, things were completely different. The show's manager Andy went straight to producer Rebecca and ordered her to cancel all upcoming episodes. He revealed that the Banana Splits had become a failed show, and this would be their final recording. Not long after, Paige stepped onto the stage to speak to the audience. To make the event more fun, she told everyone to check the back of their tickets for a star. Winners would get the chance to meet the Banana Splits backstage. The mischievous couple Thad and Poppy were among the lucky ones, but Harley felt disappointed because his family didn't have a star ticket. Soon, the show began and the characters performed on stage, but their co-star Stevie failed to show up, so Paige went to look for him. In the dressing room, she found Stevie completely drunk and unwilling to join the team. At that moment, Austin arrived, pretending he needed the restroom. He pulled Paige aside, saying he wanted to talk. In a private room, he explained that his little brother was a super fan, and today was his birthday. Meeting the Banana Splits would be a dream come true. After listening, Paige promised to help. Meanwhile, Stevie overheard Andy talking on the phone. Andy mentioned that the show was being cancelled because it didn't fit his vision anymore. Just as he hung up, Bingo appeared and kidnapped him. It turned out the orangutan character had also overheard the conversation. Later, Stevie returned to the set and told the others that this would be their last performance. Soon, the final episode ended, and the audience was asked to leave. Only those with star tickets could go backstage. But to everyone's surprise, Paige also invited Harley's family, which made them overjoyed. On the other side, Stevie insulted the Banana Splits members and celebrated the show's cancellation. He even spat in Drooper's face to vent his anger. Unfortunately, that was a fatal mistake. Drooper became furious and shoved a giant lollipop down Stevie's throat, killing him brutally. After that, the lucky audience members were led backstage to meet the Banana Splits and take pictures. Beth told Austin to watch the kids while she went to look for Mitch. Meanwhile, a middle-aged man named Jonathan approached Paige and begged her to let his daughter Parker audition. He said Parker was very interested in acting and wanted to showcase her talent. When Paige refused, he decided to take Parker directly to the producer. Eventually, he found Rebecca and asked her to watch his daughter perform, but Rebecca bluntly refused, saying the show had already been cancelled. Jonathan felt disappointed, but he refused to give up and decided to find Andy himself. Outside the studio, Beth confronted Mitch and was shocked to learn he had been cheating on her. She furiously demanded an explanation, but Mitch didn't care at all. He claimed he needed another woman because she always spent more time with her sons. Austin soon arrived and tried to defend his mother, but Mitch ignored him and walked away. Meanwhile, Thad and Poppy entered Fleegle's magic shop and started live streaming inside. Thad even got down on one knee and romantically proposed to Poppy, and she happily said yes. Sadly, their happiness didn't last long. Fleegle suddenly appeared and attacked Thad, slicing him cruelly in half. Poppy screamed in terror, but no one came to help. Moments later, when she was about to be killed too, Fleegle heard someone approaching. He rushed outside to check and found 2 children. Unaware of the danger, Harley asked if Fleegle could take him to see Snorky, his favorite character. Fleegle nodded in agreement. Meanwhile, Jonathan and Parker entered Andy's office, but he wasn't there. Instead, they found Drooper, who immediately burned Jonathan's face with fire. Parker screamed hysterically and tried to run, but in the end, Bingo captured her. Outside, Mitch was minding his own business when he suddenly heard a hurling sound coming toward him. When he turned around, he saw Snorky driving a car straight at him at full speed. Terrified, Mitch ran for his life, while Snorky chased him closely. In the next scene, Beth and Austin returned to the place where they had left the kids, but they couldn't find them anywhere. This made Beth extremely anxious, and she started scolding her other son. Their conversation was interrupted when Jonathan suddenly appeared, his face badly burned. He told them that the banana splits had gone completely insane. When Rebecca heard this, she immediately asked Paige to call 911. Paige rushed into the room where the phones were kept, only to discover that all of them had been destroyed. To make matters worse, the landlines had also been cut off. Because of this, Beth and Austin had no choice but to search for the kids on their own. Along the way, they were attacked by Bingo. Mother and son fought desperately for their lives, but at the last second, the brave mother managed to push Bingo off from a high place, saving her son. Later, they found Poppy in a state of shock, clinging to Thad's hand as if he were still alive. Beth sympathized with her pain and asked if she had seen Harley and Zoe. Poppy whispered that the kids had been taken away by Flegel, but she didn't know where they were locked up. Meanwhile, Harley, Zoe, and Parker were trapped inside a workshop. As they struggled to escape, the inventor of the banana splits, Carl, appeared in front of them. He seemed sympathetic and quickly released them. However, the kids tricked him and locked him inside a cage instead. At the same time, the banana splits captured Rebecca and Jonathan and brought them onto a stage called the Sloppy Time Course. There they were forced to dance for their lives. But in the end, Flegel stabbed Jonathan in the back with a key, while Drooper killed Rebecca with a hammer. Elsewhere, the kids searching for an exit ran into Snorky. Even in danger, Harley was thrilled to meet his favorite character. He told his friends that Snorky was a good guy, and after hearing that, Snorky nodded and agreed to help them. Meanwhile, the adults searching for the kids reached the workshop and found Carl trapped inside. Paige immediately asked him how they could stop the banana splits, but Carl said sadly that it was impossible. They had been programmed to keep performing, and since the show was cancelled, they had turned violent. As the group discussed, they heard music from the next room and decided to check it out. However, Poppy stayed behind and picked up a creepy mask, originally made for the fifth banana split member, Hootie. When she put it on, she was instantly taken over by the program and became violent. Carl begged to be freed, but he too met a tragic end. Meanwhile, the adults entered another room and were horrified by what they saw. Flegel and Drooper were amusing themselves with cruel and gruesome acts on humans, chopping off Andy's limbs and burning Stevie's corpse. At that moment, Snorky brought Harley, Zoe, and Parker in and chained them together with the other kids. Unexpectedly, Snorky secretly handed a key to Harley. After he left, Harley quickly unlocked the chains and freed the children. Seeing this, Beth told Austin and Paige to take the kids and run, while she stayed behind to face Flegel and Drooper. During the fight, she almost got killed, but her son rushed back just in time to save her. Together, the family fought side by side and finally killed Flegel and Drooper. Afterward, they hurried toward the exit but were blocked by Bingo. Just as it seemed like the end for everyone, Snorky appeared and fought his fellow animatronic in a deadly battle. The fight was brutal, and both suffered severe damage, but in the end, Harley's favorite Snorky won. Sadly, he also died from his injuries. In the final scene, the survivors finally walked out of the studio just as the police arrived. Everyone was exhausted and shaken by the ordeal, but Austin still found time to flirt with Paige, and to his delight, she responded with a kiss. Moments later, the injured Mitch approached Beth, saying he finally realized how important she was in his life, but Beth punched him in the face and declared she wanted a divorce. After the group left, the now crazed Poppy drove off in the banana split buggy, determined to avenge her fallen brothers. In the very last shot, Flegel came back to life, laughing maniacally.